Hi there. We're here to answer another one of your parenting and relationship questions. Just to recap what we're doing here, um, as some of you may know, the site parentnook.com and parentnook forums are both down. That's down due to some creative differences with the host server and us. They felt that some of our topics were too risque for them. I don't necessarily agree, but I respect that. So what we've done is we've taken what was on the forum site, would be users would ask questions, and then members of the forum would answer those questions. And that's why I say it's real people, real answers. Nobody here has an agenda. Nobody's going to be talking from a certain political ideology or a religious background or anything. It's a group of people just like you and me, and we're parents and we deal with things just like you do. We're in relationships just like you, and we answer questions to the best of our knowledge and our past experiences. So what happens is someone like yourself sends a question in to lovemywifeforlife@gmail.com. I will put that email address in the description of this video. Um, that video is picked up by one of the team members, and then we set up a good day and time, and we collectively discuss that. There's usually anywhere between 3 to 6 of us that discuss the matter, and then we come up with a consensus, or we come up with several ideas and we put them all together. And in the case of the last video with the boyfriend cheating, there was a lot of difference of opinions, so we put a lot out there. We pretty much agreed on this next topic, which is a parenting issue this time, not a relationship one. We pretty much agreed this time, so it'll be much easier. Again, if you aren't familiar with this, or if you want to do this, send your question or your issue or whatever it is to lovemywifeforlife@gmail.com. That's LUVMY, love my WIFE, the number 4, LIFE@gmail.com. Again, I will put the email address in the description of the video, so I'll make it easier, but it's lovemywifeforlife@gmail.com. It will be picked up by a team member. The team member will get hold of the other team members, and we will discuss your question, and we will get back to you. You can remain anonymous if you want to. In this particular case, the user does want to remain anonymous. You can give just the state you're in, the city you're in. You don't have to give anything. And again, in this case, the person gave us nothing. They wanted to remain private, and we respect that. You can certainly give us your name and ask us to keep it quiet. It's up to you. If you want your name, or if you just want the city you're in, or the state you're in, or anything, it doesn't matter. Whatever you want revealed will be revealed. If you just want your question answered, that's fine too, which is the case with this one. Okay, I don't have the email in front of me. It was picked up by another member. So I'm just going to kind of give you a rundown of what the question was. The person is a parent. They did not specify their gender. That has a 1-year-old at this time, and they've been seeing TV, movie, reading things about something called the terrible twos. And if you're a parent and you've had kids, you know what that is. Yes, the terrible twos. None of us look forward to that. Anyway, what this particular person was concerned about was how to deal with the terrible twos. What are the do's and don'ts? What should I look forward to? What should I do? Should I not do? What causes it? All that. We're not experts. We're not child psychologists. We're real people just like you and me. So we're going to give you, what you would get if you went to your neighbor's house and said, "Hey, you had a 2-year-old. What did you do?" Okay. Again, there were several of us. We came up with a consensus on this, on what to do and what happens. Okay. So anyway, that was the question. The person's anticipating the terrible twos and trying to figure out what needs to be done or what can be done. Was actually interested in what causes it, which is fairly simple if you think about it, but either way. So this is where we went. Okay, as far as what causes the terrible twos, nothing really causes it. What it is like anything. It's like your your dog or your cat. And I hate comparing children to dogs and cats, but there's a lot of similarities here if you think about it. The dog will do whatever you allow him to do, or her. Same thing with your cat. you talk about training your animals. Well, in the aspects, you're kind of training your child. Okay, it sounds bad, but in essence, that's really what it is. Because what's happening is the child is testing the waters. The child doesn't know what the rules are. The child doesn't know what it can or cannot do. It doesn't know where the boundaries are. Okay, in other words, okay, if I can scream and yell, can I stomp my feet? Can I throw something? Can I hit anything? Can I break anything? Can I call names? All these things. These are all the boundaries. That's what the terrible twos are. The terrible twos are very important because it's going to set things up for the rest of the child's behavior and possibly adulthood. Okay, so this is actually important. This is when you, the parent, you set the rules. Don't let the child have a fit and get his or her way. That's not what happens. When you do that, that's what you're going to teach the child to do. The child's always going to throw a fit to get his or her way. And that's going to carry on into its adult life. And he or she is going to have a terrible time trying to navigate the world when they think all they need to do is pitch a fit in order to get what they want. That's what this is. They're testing the waters. They're learning. It's a learning process. They don't know where those boundaries are. They don't know that it's not okay to throw a temper tantrum until you tell them. They don't know it's not okay to throw something until you tell them. They don't know it's not okay to hit their brother or sister or hit you or whatever until you tell them. Okay? There has to be consequences. The terrible twos do not have to be that terrible. Example. Your child's throwing a fit in the grocery store. They want attention. They want you to throw a fit. They want you to give them what they want. You know what? Call everybody around. Hey, this is my child. He's throwing a fit because he can't have any Lucky Charms today because he didn't eat the last box we gave him. Go ahead. He wants everybody to look. Take a look. Let him look. Take the power back. It's your power. It's not his or her power. Okay? The child needs to learn right off the bat that throwing a fit is not going to get them their way. It's called the terrible twos because a lot of parents give in to that. Oh my God, we just need him to be quiet. You know what? So what? You think you're the only parent that their child throws a fit at? No. You know what? I've been in the stores and all that when I see that. And the parents that impress me the most are the ones that just let him scream. You know what? He's screaming. He's not going to get his way. I've actually seen something where a parent has actually taken a toy that they were about to purchase and put it back on the shelf because they were throwing a fit. Again, bravo. Okay? The terrible twos do not have to be terrible. Okay, this was a consensus. We unanimous that the terrible twos do not have to be terrible. It's about a power struggle. The child wants to see where his or her boundaries are, and it's you that have to tell them where those boundaries are, and it's you that have to show them those boundaries, and it's you that has to dish out the consequences when the child crosses those boundary lines. The child's throwing a fit? Okay, fine. Do like the woman that did at the retail store. Take the toy she was going to buy and put it back on the shelf. You know what? Hey, you're throwing a fit like that, you don't deserve a toy. You're not getting any Lucky Charms because you didn't eat the last box. I'm not buying another box. Throw a fit all you want. Look, everybody look at it. This is what he's doing. Okay? Take the power away. He's trying to embarrass you. Don't let, and I keep saying he, and I don't mean that to be he, but it could be a she just as easily. Look at the little brat in the Little House on Prairie. She obviously gained control at her terrible twos. Anyway, that's just a reference to a TV show that my wife likes to watch that I see sometimes, and the little girl's a brat. Okay, your child doesn't have to be a brat unless you make him or her a brat. The terrible twos don't have to be terrible. Are you going to have to go through them? Sure you are. You need to put your foot down, stand firm, and tell the child no when no means no. And no has to mean no. No can't mean no this time and not the next time. Your child needs to learn boundaries. When the child learns boundaries, the child can learn rules. When the child learns rules, the child will be a productive person and later on a productive adult that won't get into trouble, won't question authority, will just do what needs to be done. Okay? The terrible twos do not have to be terrible. And to the person who wrote the email, don't fear the terrible twos. Okay? That is your opportunity to make sure your child becomes a decent human being. Okay? Because that's when it starts. Okay, when they're an infant, all they know how to do is cry and get something to eat and get their diaper changed, all that stuff. Once the terrible two starts, that's when the learning starts. Okay, they have to learn they can't throw a fit to get their way. They have to learn that they can't hit, throw fits, stomp, break things, make threats, call names, scream, yell, and none of that. Those are not tools for them to use. What they need to do is behave like respectable children that respect the world around them and the people around them and their parents. You need to teach them that. They don't know that. Okay, that's what this is. This is a learning process. The child needs to learn how to respect rules, guidelines, boundaries, all those things. They have to learn to respect. It's not about them. It's about whatever's right or wrong. Okay? If the Lucky Charms aren't right, then they're not right. If you want to throw a fit, there's a consequence for that. Okay? Now, we can talk about consequences like spanking and all that. In this case, let's just talk about this. The child threw a fit. The child didn't get the toy that the child wanted. Why? Because the child, make the child own his or her behavior. Okay? This little child learned that it was his or her, I don't remember which it was, his or her behavior that forced the fact that they did not get the toy that mom literally had in her shopping cart that went back on the shelf that the child did not get because the child was throwing a fit. Was warned about it several times, told several times, child didn't listen, toy went back on the shelf. Bravo to that parent. That, my dear writer, is the kind of parent you need to be, because that child who had that toy put back on the shelf learned something that day. And as long as that parent continues to do that, then that child will be a respectable citizen when he or she grows up, because the child understands rules, understands boundaries, and understands what's right and wrong, and understands the proper way to get things is not by yelling and screaming and throwing a fit or breaking things or anything or hitting or stomping or whatever. Okay, so to put it simply, the terrible twos don't have to be terrible. The terrible twos are a learning process. The terrible twos are your opportunity to start your child on the right path. Because if you do it wrong, you're going to start them off in the wrong path, and those terrible twos could become the terrible teens and 20s later on. Okay? You have any questions, you can put them in the comment section. If you have your own question about a parenting or a relationship issue, email us at the email address I gave you already, and it will be in the description of this video, and we will get back to it as soon as possible. If you want to reply email on when the video is up, we can do that. That'll be entirely up to you, but you can let us know that in the email when and if you send it. Thank you, and have a good day.